bad gacha luck and how you can deal with it. I have a soft spot for Tuhu, you know. I've watched many of his videos in the past when I was just starting to tip my toes into the gacha genre. I watched many of his Fate Grand Order and gacha logs. He is even one of the first gacha content creators I started watching consistently when I started playing gacha games, which one of the first was Fate Grand Order. Tuhu is like a sour apple, you know. He may look unlikable at first because he seems very direct, speaks his mind, doesn't beat around the bush. But in actuality, he's quite a bit healthy, as in talks about things that are good talking points. Just like one of his videos where he talked about what you might expect from the Honkai Star Rail and Fate collab, where he talked about things like if Honkai Star Rail decides to go for this route where you summon for masters instead of servants. So in the banners, you can, for example, pull for Rin, and then when you use Rin in a battle, then Rin summons Archer as a servant on the field. But that isn't something that I want. That is, I don't think many people want. You don't want to own a character that owns another character. So I don't want to own Rin who owns Archer. I want to own Archer directly. And of course, I also want to own Rin, but you know what I mean. And if they go with that route, that you summon for masters and that the masters summon the servants on the field in battle in Honkai Star Rail. If they go with that route, then how are they going to do it with Gilgamesh, for example? That's a nice point that Tuhu made in that video too. Since Gilgamesh, his master is Kirei, and the average Fate Stay Night anime fan won't be like, yeah, I want to play as Kirei. Because when people think about Fate Stay Night, they think about Archer, Rin, Emiya, Saber, and not about Kirei. Of course, he's a nice character and all, but still. But anyway, sure, Tuhu is sometimes too harsh, like with some bad takes he made on Untouched, his game. There is no doubt about that. It is just that it's 100% unfiltered Tuhu, you know. That is why I like his content. It might be not everyone's cup of tea, but still, he is quite entertaining. But now let's get to his current video, which I was quite interested in, which he posted 3 days ago, I see, about how we can deal with bad gacha luck. My initial top of the head thought would be like, how you can deal with bad gacha luck is to always plan in the worst case scenario. Just like his thumbnail says, brace for the worst. It is just like seatbelts, you know. When you crash, you are done. Sure, it is not only for the worst case scenario when you crash, but you know what I mean. That's the beauty of gacha games. That uncertainty when pulling for characters, or that uncertainty and chaos when rolling for relic substats. Those are one of the beauties of gacha gaming. But let's get to it. And let's see bad gacha luck and how you can deal with it.
So dudes, it's your boy Tuhu. A few months ago, back when Firefly's banner first dropped in Star Rail, I saw a tweet while I was at work at the time about how someone had saved up really hard for her, planning to like E6 her and all that, but wasn't able to and ended up stopping at only E2S1, and how they were so disappointed by the gacha that they were either going to stop rolling and like, you know, cut their losses, or just quit Star Rail altogether. I forget exactly what that ended up doing.
Yeah, you know, E6 on someone is quite an extreme thing. If you truly like that character, then sure. But if you're like with that mind stuff, if I don't get this character at E6, then you're gonna quit the game. I would never do that. Only if they made it so that in Honkai Star Rail that you could disable the Eidolons, so that you're not stuck with that Eidolon. So you can still relate to the normal average player, in my case then, for when making content. So that I don't am like, yeah, you know, Blade is pretty broken when I have him E6 and everyone else plays him at E0. So I'd only go basically for Eidolons if you could disable those Eidolons when you want to. The only limited character I have Eidolon for is Firefly. So I have her E1 because her E1 is pretty broken, since her skill won't consume any skill points anymore when she's in her Super Saiyan state, which has a nice team composition changing effect compared to, for example, Acheron with her E1, like giving a bit of crit rate, and that's it. But personally, I wouldn't go for Eidolons on limited characters, only if you could disable those Eidolons, in my case then, just for content purposes.
Some of you may know which tweet I'm talking about here because it did do some pretty good numbers. And that got me thinking into doing a video like this, a video where I talk about the dark side of gacha, I guess, for lack of a better term. Seeing that I've got, you know, 7 years of gacha experience under my belt, and I keep up with a dozen gacha games and counting, I'm probably one of the best content creators out there to even talk about this.
That's why he calls himself the gacha god, right? Since he literally plays all of them. He does all of their dailies, everything.
Seeing that I've got, you know, 7 years of gacha experience under my belt, and I keep up with a dozen gacha.
Bro, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Did I count this one? Let me recount. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 12. Bro, he plays Azure Lane, Honkai Star Rail. No idea what this game is. no idea what this game is. I think it's Snowbreak, this one. Withering Waves, Nikkei, no idea what this game is. FGO, Genshin, ZZZ, Arknights, no idea what this game is either. Or is this Azure Link? I know. It is quite extreme, Tuhu. But hey, you do what you like, right?
Gacha games and counting, I'm probably one of the best content creators out there to even talk about this. That, and you certainly won't see anyone else talk about this shit themselves. And when I say the dark side of gacha games, I don't mean the usual shit like how, oh, gacha games are so predatory, right? Like, they're basically gambling. Like, I'm not talking about that moral shit, because it's easy for any content creator out there with two functional brain cells to rub together to make videos trashing the gambling nature of gacha games. What I'm trying to talk about here is more on the psychological side, as in what happens or what do you do when you roll in a gacha game and end up not getting what you want, or end up getting screwed over. Because you always see tweets from people flexing
Well,
their
that's
best
why you
gacha
always
pull.
plan for the worst case scenario when you really want to target a specific character. And you need a good summoning ritual. As I have won the last 50/50s on my Honkai Star Rail account because I did a pull for every push-up I did. And for the first time ever in 1.5 years of playing Honkai Star Rail since the date got released, I got 2 limited characters back to back. So after Rappa, I immediately got to Sunday. So you want to have better gacha luck, you got to have a good summoning ritual, I'd say. Because a summoning ritual is correlated with good luck, right?
And showing off how lucky they got on so-and-so's banner, right? You always see streamers and content creators out there doing rolls and getting amazing fucking luck all the goddamn time, it seems like. Mina Aoyama's out here rolling signature light cones every other multi in Star Rail. Numi seemingly hits the 0.5% drop chance ship girl in Azure Lane every time a new event drops. Sorry, Jami. Slice's gacha pull videos have thumbnails that look like this, etc. So it's very easy for the average gacha player out there to develop a false
My
sense of...
thumbnails for my summoning are like this. Wait, let me see how they do it. Yeah, like this. My thumbnails are like this. I have it zoomed in a little bit. These are my thumbnails. This is why they perform so bad. No one wants to see a bald-headed, meat Kenyan-ass looking boy, but hot anime waifus. Maybe I should start trying these too, though. Nah, I like these thumbnails of mine. Anyway, let's continue.
So it's very easy for the average...
Let me skip a bit back.
Slice's gacha pull videos have thumbnails that look like this, etc. So it's very easy for the average gacha player out there to develop a false sense of assurance, I guess, for lack of a better phrase. Because when you see so much gacha luck all around you on social media, it's so easy to end up thinking that you can get lucky on gacha too. Whether it's because you're under the impression that for some reason the gacha's just being nice to everyone this time around.
Yeah, you can think that, of course, if you always see people getting lucky, then it's natural to assume that you will get lucky too. Even though it doesn't make really sense, since those two events are not that correlated. But it is just this sense of assurance, like Tuhu said. If you see someone get lucky, you want to get lucky too. So you want to test the waters. And then before you know it, you're an addicted gacha gamer. But personally, I've never felt that way, that when I see other people get lucky, that I think I will get lucky too. It isn't logical. It isn't correlated, you know. But yeah, humans aren't that... logical to begin with, are we?
Or because you don't want to feel left out. But as you might guess, as you may know yourself firsthand, that's not always the case. Because for every lucky motherfucker out there who gets an insanely fast E6 or C6 or what have you in Star Rail or Genshin or whatever, there's dozens, hundreds, even thousands of other poor bastards who get their asses Star Rail or Genshin impacted instead by the god-awful gacha rates that Hoyoverse games have, and then get skill issued by the coin flips. At this point, now that Genshin's been around for 4 years, even new school gacha players...
Hoyoverse's rates aren't that bad compared to, for example, Fate Grand Order, where the pity was in the past non-existent. There was no pity, but they changed that to the pity of 330 pulls. So the pity in a Fate Grand Order for a guaranteed limited 5-star is 330 pulls. And your pity doesn't carry over to the next banner. So there are always worse, there are always better ones. So I'd say Hoyoverse is like, with their gacha games, in between. Like, you always get 100 pulls every version, which is a 5-star. So if you win the coin flip, like Tuhu said, you're good to go, or you're screwed. But yeah, like I said, that's the beauty of gacha games. This chaos, this unpredictability. That's why I like them. this chaos.
Whose first game was Genshin Impact, for example, should know what to expect when it comes to rolling gacha. One banner, it can be really nice to you and give you everything you want reasonably or even insanely quickly.
And the next banner,
you lose all your 50-50s and get wrecked by double weapon pity. Thank God they're reducing that down to 1 next patch in 5.0. And that's a clean $200 or $300 down the goddamn drain right there. But getting
I
fucked by the
stopped playing Genshin Impact when when the Sumeru dropped. Yeah, a bit after that. Since at that time Honkai Star Rail also released, and when I saw the quality of life that Honkai Star Rail had compared to Genshin Impact, it was quite difficult to play Genshin Impact for me. I still like the game. The gameplay regarding battle mechanics is really entertaining, but I don't know. I just grew out of it. I had been playing it for a year or something. Maybe I will go back to it one day, but now I don't feel that urge yet.
Gacha like this is one thing, because most of the time when you roll for a new character in a gacha game, it's mainly because they're new, right? And you're rolling because of the hype surrounding them, or because they're a strong character, you know, meta-wise, or simply because they've got huge tits and your dick's clicking on that 10 roll button for you. It's not, or usually not, because you really like this character enough to call them your waifu or your husbando or anything like that. But what happens when they are, right? What happens when a new gacha character comes out and holy shit, you really fucking like them, especially when they're a character that you've been waiting for a long time and they're finally here, and you get fucked rolling for them anyway. While it seems like everyone else on Twitter is getting the luckiest rolls you've seen on this side of the internet, and Mina's getting early 5 stars left and right, you on the other hand had to go to soft or even hard pity every single time, lost every single coin flip and got 3 more yanqings in the process, and to add insult to injury, you even lost the 75-25 on Litecoin banner.
Bro, that happened to me with the Yingguan. He was the first limited character I pulled for Honkai Star Rail. I didn't do a single pull for Celia's banner, I think. Like, I spared up all my pulls. I went for Yingguan. They pushed me to pity, lost the 50-50, but still wanted 60 pulls for Yingguan. For my first pulls was quite demotivating when everyone around you got to have fun with Celia. But anyway, I went to Yingguan's Litecoin banner, and I lost that one too. I got the Bylus Litecoin at the 40th pull. So I got it early, luckily, and then I got Yingguan's Litecoin at the 80th pull, or around that. I never went above 80, which is quite lucky. Only once when summoning for Rappa last time. But yeah, losing that to 75-25 is like the worst thing. Like, that feeling is terror. That is how I can describe it. Yeah, but you don't always expect that you would lose the 75-25. Like, the probability is so low. It is 75% chance to get your Litecoin, but worst case planning for that is difficult. I'm not going to save up more than 60 pulls for a Litecoin, you know. I'm just going to save up 80 pulls and hope that I get lucky. But that is really the worst feeling there is, losing that 75-25.
Right? How do you deal with that? Well, unfortunately, as someone who's been stuck in this gacha shit for the past 7 years and counting, what I've learned is that you just kind of learn to fucking deal with it. Or to put it even more bluntly, you take the fucking L. Because out here in the streets of gacha, it's either you get what you want or you drown in your salt, both your own and from the gacha. And when I say this, I don't mean to sound like I'm trying to make fun of anyone who gets fucked over by gacha, because you can bet your ass that I've been through some shit of my own too.
No, he's right. If you lose that 75-25 or that 50-50 and you don't got any more pulls, you got to take the L, or you got to spend money. That's basically, you should never ever spend money you don't have. If you got the money on the side, you want to spend it on something you want to have fun with, sure, go for the character. Do what you want to have fun with, what gives you the most joy. But you should not put yourself in a financial mess in real life just to feel a bit better in this impulsive moment of when you just lost your 75-25 or your 50-50. You should never act on impulse. Always think a bit through. That's the most important thing, basically.
For example, 1,700 Saint Quartz for my first copy of Pomelancer, or in other words, over $800. Over 1,600 for my first copy of Skaha, over 4,000 Saint Quartz for both MP6 Merlin and Castoria individually.
4,000 Saint Quartz, that is... It is a faint card order, by the way. That is, well, every pool is 3 Saint Quartz. So that is then 4,000 divided by 3 is 1,333 pulls for one character. 2 MP6 he said. We got an extra copy since MP5, so E6 in Honkai Star Rail terms is the max. So you just got a 3 extra copies for fun. Let me see.
Copy of Skaha, over 4,000 Saint Quartz for both MP6 Merlin and MP6. Castoria individually, so 8.
Bro, you got to understand, you get like around 2,000 Saint Quartz a year in Fate Grand Order, just free to play. We can confirm that. Let's see, estimated the free quartz for 2023. So that is a year ago. Total comes to, exactly, 2,500. It's a rough estimate. That means that Tuhu bought an insanely amount of Saint Quartz. Like, how much is the most expensive pack? Like, in dollars, it is 86 purchase plus this. That is 167 quartz is 80 pulls. And 167 quartz divided by 3 is 55 pulls. So, for $80, you get like around 55 pulls. It differs with the exchange rates and which country Tuhu is from, but around... but this is just a rough estimate, 55 pulls, which is like nothing. So for one character, he spent like around $2,000, $2,000, rough estimate, assuming he bought all of these quartz, which he potentially did, since that is just for one character. We also got Custodia here on the right, and half of that for her and Tamamo. But damn, yeah, the calculations are around the same. As you can see, 4K is around $2,000. Then 1,700 Saint Quartz is around $800. So the calculations make sense. Damn. Hey, bro, you gotta do what you enjoy, right? If it doesn't put you in financial instability, then it's no problem. Do what you want with your money. Who cares, right?
8,000 between the two of them. And those are just a few of the horror stories that I got. And they're just from FGO, which is, by the way,
it's true.
One
he plays 12 gacha games. It's just one gacha game. And he wills in like 3 or 4 or even more of the 12 gacha games he's playing. He doesn't well in all of them. Some of them he is a dolphin, so he just spends a normal amount. But damn.
The dozen gachas that I play. So I'll admit, whenever I see Hoyoverse or other new school gacha players out there bitch about how unlucky they've gotten on a new banner, and it turns out they only got like an E2S1 when they were expecting an E6 or something, a part of me just kind of sadistically laughs to myself, because I'm just sitting here like, bro, be grateful you even fucking got anything at all. But obviously saying that kind of shit doesn't...
Yeah, you are guaranteed to get something, since there is pity. Of course you're going to get. I think that person with his E2S1 Firefly expected, like he said, E6 Firefly. Sure, you can expect what you want, but it's all about 50-50 coin flips. You get unlucky. It is not a guarantee that you will every 50-50. You also can get 10 Fireflies in one temple, but yeah, how big are the chances? Of course you can be angry at Matt that you lost the 50-50 10 times in a row. That's of course you're going to get mad. That's normal. You won't get mad. But you cannot think illogically that you will get that. You might get that, but you're not guaranteed to get that. And like I said, and I will say it again, that's the beauty of gacha. This chaos RNG.
Exactly help someone feel better about their bad gacha luck. But then again, like I said earlier, there's not really much you can do to make yourself feel better about it in the first place. Like back in the day, the way you felt better about your shit gacha luck was to finally roll the character you wanted, but nowadays with stuff like guaranteed pities and newer gacha games, the bar has been raised quite a bit to the point where even when you do get the character you're looking for, you can still get tilted off the face of the planet because you didn't get them as fast as you wanted to, or because you had to burn more gacha currency to get them than you expected. My motto when it comes to rolling gacha is,
of course, it feels bad that you get pitied for a character. That's normal, of course. That is why you need a good summoning ritual, like I said, doing a pull for every push-up you do.
For the best, but brace for the worst. Gacha is RNG, unless you're one of those idiots out there who are convinced that seeded accounts are a thing, which... Hey,
seeded
to be
accounts?
fair, looking at Mina's Star Rail account, you could be fooled into thinking that...
Seeded accounts, what the hell is that? Let me search it up quickly. Alright, so from what I have understood, it basically means that everything that you will get in that account regarding pulls is already predetermined by the algorithm of the account you created. Is that real? Is that even legal though, bro? If that was the case, that would be so painful, you know? Thinking that everything was always RNG but it was already predetermined, like with the universe, everything predetermined or not. But anyway, if that was the case with gacha games, then I don't think many people would play the gacha games anymore. Would be the biggest downfall in world gaming history, maybe. But I doubt that. Sure, they can be real and maybe some games have it, but I want to believe that it is not the case.
That aside though, because it's RNG and because you don't know how your gacha rolls are gonna go, especially when you're dealing with 0.6% drop rates or whatever dog shit percentages Hoyoverse games have nowadays, outside of their pity systems that is, you have to learn to temper your expectations. Even if you
outside
see
of the pity system. Yeah, so it just means that the rates are bad. Yeah, that's true. 0.6% is quite low, but the pity is nice.
For people out there on Twitch or YouTube or Twitter or wherever having god tier luck that just seems to shit out all the 5 stars they ever want, that won't over to you too. Sometimes when you get it twisted, things will go your way, and sometimes they won't. If they do go your way, great. Flex your rolls on
even
Twitter
full
for
screen, I
all
noticed.
2 or 3 of your internet friends to see and have them roast you for being a pathetic gacha player and a disgusting weeb who goons the Chinese cartoon girls, or unfriend your ass because they rolled on the same banner as you did but got fucked over and now they're pissed that you got better luck than they did. And if your rolls don't go
Those
your
are mean
way,
friends.
oh well, it's time to either grind the game for more currency to eventually get that new character you've been wanting,
Or
or
spend money.
bust out your wallet
Yep.
and surrender your credit card info to Big Daddy Xi Jinping. And let me remind you, being the gacha boomer that I am, that for those of you who play new school gacha games, like Hoyoverse games or whatever, which should be most of you by the way, y'all at least don't need to worry about whether you can even get the character in the first place. Again, these days you've got things like soft and hard pities and guaranteed rate ups and shit like that make sure that you eventually get whoever's on
But back in the days with Fate Grand Order, we did not have any pity. Is he going to say that? Let's
rate
see.
up at least one copy of them. So you know there's always a hard cap on how much you or your bank account has to suffer. So because of this, the way I see it, the best way to deal with getting bad gacha luck is to make sure that first you have enough currency to guarantee yourself whichever character it is that you want. And then you consider any rolls you do beyond that first copy, whether it's for more copies of the same character or if you want to go for their signature weapon or whatever.
Like I said, I will only go for more limited Eidolons if I could turn off those Eidolons. So I can still experiment with E0 limited characters to know how they perform for an average player, so that I do not mess up my account with this extra Eidolon, which I hope I don't get when I do a temple. So the worst thing would be like, let's say you do a temple for a character and you get 2 copies of him, which in my case would be quite bad, since I do not want to use that Eidolon, since then I cannot relate to the normal average player anymore. So I need to hoard that Eidolon there and have that irritating exclamation mark the whole time on that character screen. But for a normal player who doesn't make content and just wants to have the Eidolons, it would be the best feeling ever. But for me, in my situation, I do not want that to happen. And I was this close to that happening to me, like with the Rappa pulls. Well, with the Rappa and Sunday pulls. Since after I pulled Rappa, I did my Sunday pulls, I did a temple, and immediately on the first pull got Sunday. So I had Rappa, and next version Sunday dropped, and on the first pull I got Sunday. So if I did a temple for Rappa, since I got the Rappa with just 1 pull, I just did 1 pull because my pity was already like 80. So if I had done a temple on a Rappa's band, then I probably would have gotten 2 Rappas, which would have made me quite happy for a split second, but after thinking a bit through, would have made me quite sad.
Be a pure bonus. Your main objective should always be the characters, but because signature weapons and extra constellations or eidolons, or whatever they're called in whichever game you play, shouldn't be necessary in whatever game that they're in, you should roll for them at your own risk if you still want them. That being said, it's also perfectly normal to be upset if your gacha rolls don't go your way. It's unfortunately just part of the gacha experience, and everyone eventually gets their shit pushed in by the gacha at some point sooner or later. But sometimes it can happen when you really don't want it to, or when you're not expecting it. And all it takes for someone to drop a gacha game entirely is 1 bad banner and they're gone. And of course, even when you go into a new banner mentally preparing yourself for the worst, when it actually happens, you can still feel very shafted anyway. Like, no one likes getting fucked up the ass by gacha. Unless you're into that. So the best course of action at that point, after you've rolled for a new character and your rolls are hot dog shit and you're tilted off the face of the planet like you're a flat earther, is honestly just a step away from the game. If you're so triggered by how badly you got shafted by your gacha,
if you really cannot accept the fact that you might and probably will lose quite a lot of 50-50s, and it truly like removes the whole pleasantry from the game for you, so you don't have any fun with it anymore, of course, then gacha gaming might not be perfect for you. But still, losing every 50-50 will take quite a mental toll on you, that's for sure. And then it's quite understandable that you would want to stop playing that game then, because you feel as if the game is against you. So yeah, like I said, understandable.
That even thinking about the game pisses you off. take a break from it and come back
Yep.
to it later. If you still
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
do whatever event's going on, then sure, do those, but don't spend more time on the game than you need to. Like, I
I
don't
had
know
that
how
feeling with Fate Grand Order in the back old days in 2018 when I was playing that. There was this character I wanted, Merlin, and he came in the 2019 anniversary. So at the end of 2018 and start of 2019, I don't know the date, so somewhere there in between. So 1st January, I think. At that time, there was no pity. And I wanted him really bad. I had saved up like, I know, 700 quartz. And that is how much pulls 700 divided by 3 is, let's say, 233. All right. So I had 233 pulls. And in a year, we get around, like we just saw in 2023, 2,500 quartz per year. So I had saved up quite a lot, and I did not get him. And there is no guarantee, no pity. I spent a bit of money. Didn't get him either then. So after a couple of $100, I never got him. And I got so tilted and angry, I just stopped playing the game. And I picked it up again in 2023, paid a bit, and I got bored of it since after so many years, all the characters I had were like way outdated since many new meta units came. So then I was like, I'm never going to play this game ever again. So after having played for a couple of months in 2023 or 24, I know, I had saved up a lot of currency since over those years, like this present box in the game, like you can say the mill, had many rewards from it in it because of maintenance or something all stacked. So I got like easily 1,000 quartz and a lot of tickets, and a ticket's basically one pool. So I basically had like 500 pulls worth of Saint Quartz. But I got bored of the game. So I was like, I'm never going to play the game ever again. So I spent them all my currency, all my pulls on a random banner at that time. And it was this lolly character I got. Oh yeah, it was Abigail Williams or something. So I was like, sure, I'm going to spend on this and then quit the game. I spent all of it. I got that character MP5, so E6 in Honkai Star Rail terms. But no, I got her MP7, so E8. So Eidolon 8. So I got 2 extra copies for nothing because I was like, I'm never going to play this game again. So let me just spend it all on this random ass banner and just leave the game forever. But I regret that never happened. I came back to it a couple of months ago and I'm playing it quite consistently now. So one tip I have for you, if you ever get really tired of a gacha game and you still have a bit of currency, never rage summon on a banner. You will never know when you will come back to that game again. This is one lesson I got for you. Never rate someone.
good of an analogy this is gonna be, but like when you've got like a rash or something like that, right? For example, you don't keep itching it, that'll only make it worse. You gotta leave it alone for a couple days and check on it later, see how it's doing. You'll probably
Go
want
to
to
a
put some
doctor.
ointment or something on that shit to make it heal or go away faster, sure, but the important thing is that you ignore it or at least try to ignore it, no matter how badly you want to itch
I
it.
get
It's
that analogy,
roughly
yeah.
the same idea when it
Makes
comes
sense.
to dealing with Gacha Salt. Take a break from the game, come back to it later when you feel
And
like
don't
you've
rate
gotten
someone.
over your bad rolls. Yes, it sucks having shit luck on Gacha. No, there's not really much you can do about it to get over it faster, besides what I've told you here, if you're not like a big fat fucking whale and you can just wipe your tears away with Benjamins that you can pull out of your ass. Oh, and obviously some people get over it faster than others. But the point is to be aware that things like this can happen, and it's important to know how to deal with them when they do. I'm not saying that you should always expect all your gacha rolls to always be shit every single time. For most people, that's not exactly a healthy mindset to have, unless of course you're also a jaded motherfucker like me. But if you plan to stick with gacha games for a long time, I think that knowing how to deal with gacha salt is an important part of the experience.
Yeah, it makes sense. If there are 2 or 3 characters you really want and they are back to back, then you got to hope for the best. You cannot get all of them. So keeping that hope up that you will win at least one 50-50, and if you do, then you will get all the characters that come back to back. And if you lose all 3 of them, like Toho said, step away from the game if you really are triggered by the gacha game and can't enjoy it anymore.
Goes for free-to-plays, whales, and everything else in between. And that's all for this video. Hope you guys have enjoyed listening to a more grounded aspect of gacha games that most other content creators just won't talk about, I don't think. If you did, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more gacha content. I've also got a Patreon, so check it out if you want to see your name show up at the end of these videos. And I dual stream to both YouTube and Twitch, twitch.tv/ToastSniper98. So stop by if you want to talk more about gachas in general. And all my socials are in the description as usual. Thanks for watching, be cool y'all, and I'll holla at you next time.
Coach. Yeah, pretty nice video. I like it. Great tips. But they speak for themselves, you know. But some people need to hear it. Some things you can assume. Like, of course, if you get unlucky, should not money you don't have, or when you get triggered by a game so bad that you don't enjoy it anymore, just step away for a bit. Those are logical things, but some people need to hear it. But yeah, nice video. So I thank for your time and see you the next time. Bye.